Good evening from my side. I'm Ines Kaps. I'm based in Hamburg, and I'm super excited to have this conversation with Leanne. We're both co-authors of the book called Start Over, Just Start. And Leanne is based on the West Coast, so we have 9 hours difference. And we just said it's so exciting and thrilling to have all this technology to have a conversation across the globe. Leanne, thank you so much for joining.
Oh, thank you so much, Inez, for prompting me to, hop on the call and get this organized. I'm so excited to have this conversation about, what inspired you to write your story as well as mine. And, the fact that like you said, we're 9 hours apart. You're in Hamburg, I'm in LA, and that we have a kindred spirit and a similar, I guess, passion and purpose in life. And it's lovely that we got to connect through this piece of writing.
Absolutely. And I mean, we are 13 women. We are business women in different life and business stages. So I am an entrepreneur, but I'm also have a corporate background, and I'm moving back into corporate. So I think it's very fascinating to see all of all of our stories and development. And I think there is a lot of learning on how to start up a business, what are our challenges, and how to start over and get motivated in actually following your dreams.
Exactly. And I think what you just said towards the end is that it's not only that we are entrepreneurs, we're in different spaces, we do different things. It's really a book about inspiration and action and seeing something through. And I think that really makes the difference between dreaming about something and wanting something and then actually following through with it. It can be starting a business, it could be stepping into a career, making some different choices, maybe personally in your life, but just the follow through and thinking about what steps to take and understanding, with all 13 of us sharing our stories, that it's not always easy. It is a very, difficult time to push yourself, because we're not geared to push ourselves. We're geared to stay connected and stay
Yeah.
safe. And so stepping outside of that, in whichever capacity you're going into, it feels uncertain and uncomfortable. And I think that, the common theme in this book is everyone was uncomfortable at a period of time or multiple times, and how they pushed through it.
Yeah. Yeah, and this is I mean, one of the key elements of my story, thriving and on a healthy no. Because in when I grew up, I was educated and raised to be the nice girl, the polite girl, to please everyone, to be respectful. And it took me quite a while to, let's say, stand up for myself, not only to speak for myself, but to raise my voice, and communicate my needs and the things that I don't like. And it was also a difficult learning journey for me as a management consultant, where you have the situation, the client is king. And then finding yourself in a situation where you actually have to say no to a client, or no to a colleague, or to your boss. So this was a very intense journey with ups and downs, and I gradually grow into the woman I am today. And it's still, situations are not easy, but I have built a muscle of confidence, and in particular of courage. And I had a very tough situation in a huge project in France, where I was in the middle of a political war between the IT department and the finance department. And it was very, very tough. And my boss said, well, that's normal. you need to get used to it. And I had the impression that there was something wrong in the project. And in the end, the project really had huge difficulties, and the client was shouting at me, and it was very, very tough. But at the end of the project, what I learned from this situation was it was very painful. It was, I wouldn't say traumatic, because traumatic is a very big word for me, but it had an impact on my well-being, and the essence I learned there was to say, well, this will never ever happen to me again. And I was right. I knew that there was an issue in the project, and I am allowed and I have to follow my gut. So if my gut and my gut is just not a fluffy feeling, it is the analysis what I have done with all my skills, with my brain, but also all the information I sense that I cannot, or that I will not articulate in figures and facts. So all this information combined is basically the impression I have, the gut feeling and the facts. And if they say there is a problem, I can trust myself and I know that I'm right. And I think this was an initial, really important step along the journey. And in the story, obviously, I also share other experiences and other stories around finding my voice and being courageous enough to articulate a no, because I truly believe if you have the courage and the confidence to say no, that in the end you will have a more healthy and happy life in business and in your professional life.
Absolutely. I really loved your story, and that was one of them that's in the book. So if you get a chance to, read the book and pick it up on Amazon, it is fabulous. The stories of triumph and courage. And I think that, one of the things that I really took away from not only our conversation, but from reading your chapter is that the courage that it takes to actually stand up for yourself. And I believe this happened fairly early in your career, correct?
Absolutely.
So it really helped you shift your trajectory onto, not only companies, but as a business ethics on your path, right? So, that early stage and that early experience really shaped the rest of your career in how you proceeded, who you worked with, and where you knew that boundary for the no really is and was for you. And that, not only is it courageous that you went through that process and you came on the other side, but that you made choices throughout the rest of your career, and still are, that are in alignment and support of who you are, what you believe in, and the companies and opportunities that are aligned with that is what has shown up and what has, presented itself as opportunities for you.
Absolutely.
Because I think, in work and same for me, I was raised to be the pleaser. And I think a lot of us, especially in our generation, that's just part of what things were. But you have the mindset that if I don't have this, then it's always going to be the same, or where am I going to go and how am I going to create something else? Who's going to hire me after this? And so the courage is continuous. And that is my takeaway from your story, is that it just it wasn't that one instance that was courageous. It was the whole journey, even to where you are today, and even writing, this piece of writing that you have in the collaboration, is courageous as well. So, I really appreciate you sharing that and being vulnerable enough to share that, because a lot of times we don't want to. It kind of triggers other things, but,
yeah.
you've created a path for yourself, a wonderful career for yourself, and it's definitely admirable for sure.
Yeah. Thank you. And what I would like to just a last thought that I would like to share to all our listeners and viewers is that this courage is actually is a muscle that you can build and that I'm still building. And for instance, for this writing of the chapter, one of the, let's say, most courageous elements was actually to share it with my husband, to be vulnerable and say, well, this is a piece of writing that I did, please could you review it. And I think once we get used to it and become vulnerable, and we build this muscle, and we realize at the end of the day, the world is still turning, nothing happened, and we receive really beautiful feedback. So it's really worth it to step up.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. That is the hardest part, which is putting yourself out there in a public way and in writing. I felt the same way. My chapter, Arriving Right on Time, is really my journey of decision to start my business, which is a lifestyle business, a coaching business, coming from a divorce with children, and really I didn't step into the corporate world until I was over 40. So my whole life shifted, and I knew that I had to be the engine that got myself to the next place. My, upbringing of wanting to prove myself and earn it, within my marriage, and earning that respect and wanting that person to be the driver with me was really the turning point for me, when I realized that really wasn't the case, and that I was the driver of everything that I wanted to do. And I couldn't sit back and blame someone else for not supporting me and not moving forward. So I believe, the impetus for my starting my business was my divorce, unfortunately. But as you read or have read, and others will read in my chapter, that it does have a beautiful ending. Our story still continues. We are divorced, and we have a phenomenal relationship, co-parenting relationship. I mean, it is everything that I really wanted to create. And it's the healthiest place for us all in my immediate family. But starting the business and really having the courage to do that, and also sharing this piece of writing, not only with the people that I've written, are included in this piece, but my family and my friends. And just like you, I've gotten so much support. I've gotten so many just heartfelt comments and well wishes, and a lot of it isn't just a pat on the back to say, oh, I like your story. It's the acknowledgement, I believe, of follow through, which is what we first started talking about, is actually setting an intention, taking an action, making a decision, and then seeing it through. And I know for myself, I don't know if this is true for you, but writing has not been my forte. I have always been a speaker. I'm great in live and on camera and in front of people, but then to write something down was a big challenge for me. So when this opportunity presented itself, I was halfway through writing my own piece, or my own book, and was finding it to be very solitary and independent. And I had this opportunity at that time, and I paused my own book and took this path and this journey just to see what the last year has been in collaboration, but also the process, so that I could share in the experience with other women. And it was the best decision ever.
I mean, what the elements that you have just shared are so beautiful and inspiring, where you say you have you have lived through this divorce and are now in a place of respect and in a place where you, yeah, raise your kids together in a very safe space. And I think this is a beautiful story and a beautiful example of how it can be done. And at the same time, creating a business. I mean, this is, being an entrepreneur is fascinating and is thrilling because it's your dreams. But building a startup, as you said, from such a, yeah, challenging situation, is something that really shows that you can do it. It might not be easy and a piece of cake, but the woman you are, I mean, you're thriving, you love sharing your stories, and I think you're a beautiful role model and inspiration for a lot of women who would like to, yeah, to read your chapter and also read the book that you in one point in time will be publishing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's thank you for that. Thank you. It's beautiful. And one of the things that I don't know if I go into it very in depth in my chapter, but it's something that that I do and will continue to share more on, is when I went through my divorce, I was in a position where I really had to recreate myself. I had to make some decisions financially with my career and what was going to happen. And I did step into corporate America with a startup, fortunately. And my position was not only in sales, but also I had the opportunity to coach business owners. So in following through with my personal business and that expansion and what I was going through on a personal growth path and wanting to create, was totally aligned with who I am, and that opportunity presented itself. I helped to create a customer experience department within the company, and have continued to help business owners expand through the vehicle of this company and what we offer. So everything I've been doing and everything that I'm living is in full alignment of teaching, sharing, guiding. And so with that comes a lot of not only self-care, but self-motivation, education, encouragement, research, and growth, to hold space for others to see something bigger than what they see for themselves. And so I get to do that with business owners, and I get to do it with women and men that are focused around their personal life. So I do share a little bit of that corporate side with you, but it is certainly on the personal growth side.
So, what are your ideal clients for your business?
I love this question. It's honestly, my ideal client is someone that really is ready to make some changes in their life. It doesn't matter if they've gone through divorce. It doesn't matter if they're find themselves in a tough situation. It's someone that's ready to make that decision to change their mindset, change some of their thought patterns and habits, and take the next step into creating what they want. And it could be a career, it could be a relationship, it could be normalizing their personal life in all of those capacities. But someone that is ready to take that step, that has belief in it and wants to do it. Because if you're not ready to do something, you can't make someone do something.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I hope that from this conversation, from the book, but also from all the experiences that you will find continuous beautiful clients who will appreciate the work that you do with them, and that who will appreciate you helping them transform.
Thank you. Thank you. And I hope for you, that you have, you said you're stepping back into corporate, that
Yes.
you are enjoying your space. If you are still doing your consulting, hopefully you have clients that are ready to hop on board and have you help shape their experience and what they're doing as well.
Yeah. Yeah, my next step is my dream would be a mid-sized consulting company where I will step in as a very senior role, a partner role, to really thrive transformational projects in the digital space. So that's where I'm heading towards, and I have a few contacts already. So it's a very exciting time, and I'm yeah. We'll see where my next step will lead me to.
Absolutely. I have someone in mind that's actually in France who is in the digital space. She's lovely. I have to introduce you to.
And to all the listeners, that's the beauty of having a cohort, being in a group of entrepreneurs, in a group of wonderful women who support each other, who share their dreams. And it's a collaboration. It's creating something together and something bigger.
Absolutely. Something bigger than ourselves. And that's what we're doing.
Leanne, it was a pleasure. Thank you so much for your time. And I hope everyone took away a little bit of inspiration and go and get the book.
That's right. Thank you, Inez. This was lovely.
So, bye.